What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're in arcade flying the I-16. I'm doing a couple of things. First of all, I'm grinding kills for the premium P39 that was just made available. If you get 90 kills, you can get a free premium P39. So I'm in the works on getting that unlocked. But also, I'm grinding the I-16 upgrades because these are planes that I haven't flown maybe once or twice ever. So I'm trying to get all the new weapons unlocks. This plane is mostly stock, if I remember correctly. You still see I don't have the belts unlocked, so I got tracers. Normally I'm running stealth with my I-16s. I think I've only got one I-16 that's fully upgraded, and it's the one that's been in the game the longest. The other point of interest for this match is the game mode. In arcade, for as long as I can remember, there have been two primary modes. You got Ground Strike and Domination. Now on March 3rd of this year, they announced Air Domination. Quite frankly, I was pumped. I played a lot of arcade matches in my War Thunder career, and so many of them are boring Ground Strike matches. I would much rather just get into a fighter and just shoot the crap out of people and cap runways. I can't think of how many exciting matches that I've had on the old Domination matches where you're trying to cap bases. It's a lot of fun. So when Gaijin announced they were going to add a new Domination match type, I was really excited. Until I actually got into this thing. Now, Air Domination is a little bit different from the old Domination match, where you're not trying to control landing strips. Instead, what you do is you spawn in, and in the middle of the map is a cap point. On the mini map, you can see it's not really gray, but it shows up as a different texture. Those of you who have done any kind of custom battles or competed in the 2 versus 2 duels are probably familiar with the idea of this kind of thing. The whole point is not just to shoot down your opponents, but it's to get them out of the cap zone. The problem with the cap zone is it's not apparent where exactly it is. Now, even though you see the outer limits of it horizontally on the map, there's no clear way of showing where it starts and ends in the vertical sense. Because you would think, even though I'm in the cap zone or right on the running the edge of it horizontally, I'm actually below it vertically. Vertically, the cap zone extends from roughly 800 or 900 meters off the deck to about 5 kilometers, give or take 100 meters. It's awfully important to know these things, because in order to cap the zone, you have to be in the zone. You have to have as many of your players in the cap zone and as few of the enemy players in the cap zone. If you want to force them out, you want to shoot them. However, it's not apparent within the game itself where the cap zone actually is. So that upper limit of roughly 5 kilometers is important to know, because this will stop people from just climbing and climbing and climbing. That upper limit keeps people from climbing up to like 8 or 9 kilometers and just trolling the enemy team, because they know it'll take forever to climb up to them and get them. The bottom limit is a problem, because right now we're at 400 meters and we're not in the cap zone. The cap zone doesn't start at this meter or at this altitude. It starts at closer to 1 kilometer. Now, if I were to offer Gaijin any kind of feedback on this, I would say get rid of that low end of the cap zone and go and just push it all the way to the ground. I don't see any need to have that limit at 800 meters or 1,000 meters or whatever it is. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Most arcade battle fights happen below 1 kilometer. So to put that up, it's kind of foolish. It just kind of seems silly to me to put that at that low altitude. Extend it all the way to the ground. That would make the most sense to me anyway. And I should mention, now that I'm thinking of it, that the way you know that you're in the cap zone is there will be a little message down there on the bottom third of the screen that'll say you are in the cap zone. Blue is capping the zone. That's really the only way to know if you're actually in the zone. There's no message anywhere else on the screen that says the cap zone extends from this altitude to this altitude, and that's one of the mistakes that I think Gaijin can also work on is educating their player base. And not everyone has played Air Domination in custom battles or in the 2 versus 2 duels. I'm overextending myself here just a little bit, and I ran that guy. Whoops. I am an arcade after all, so what are you going to do? Of course rams are going to happen. Now, as far as the size of this map, you know, horizontally, this is fine. Malta is perfect at this low tier. I'm just flying tier 1 ice shack, so this map is perfect for this. However, I did get a match with tier 4 fighters, and it is a total clusterfuck. Oh my god, there's no room to maneuver. You know, there's a huge difference between a tier 1 fighter and a tier 4 fighter. And when you get those planes going so fast, you know, there's a big technology gap between tier 1 and tier 4. And speeds are obviously much faster. You got weapons are far more deadly. So when you get all these aircraft from tier 4, you know, like your Fractals and your Griffin Spits and what have you, it is just utter chaos. It's hard. It's honestly hard to live in that, because if you stay in the cap zone and actually try to kill someone, you're gonna end up dying awfully quickly. It's not out of the ordinary to die every time you kill someone. You know, it's not uncommon to go 1-on-1 with a kill, you know, for a kill to death ratio with air domination right now with something like the tier 4 fighters, because by the time you kill someone, someone's right on you, and when you have those great big cannons, there's only so much you can do, because you want to stay in that cap zone as much as you can. But staying in the cap zone can also cost you your plane, because the enemy team wants to kill you. So staying in the cap zone is very hazardous to your health. So it's not uncommon to either leave the cap zone temporarily and come back in, or of course you can just stay in the cap zone and just go YOLO, because you're really not going to survive very long, I'm afraid, in the Air Domination match with that tier 4 right now. I haven't tried jets. I'm sure that's even crazier and more hectic. And so, how do you fix that? Honestly, the only thing I can think of is doubling the size of the cap zone horizontally, not vertically. I think the vertical limit is fine as far as the high end, but the low end I would, you know, again, drop all the way down to the ground level, because that's where so many of the fights actually take place. But horizontally, I would make the cap zone at least 50% bigger, maybe double it, because it's just too small of an area to maneuver in faster aircraft. Like basically anything above tier 2 is just utter chaos. They should rename this to Total Deathmatch, because that's just ridiculous at the higher tiers. Air Domination doesn't it's not really the best title for it. It's just utter chaos. That's another possible name for it. And if you happen to be one of those guys who likes to fly out bombers, I would recommend putting more fighters into your lineup, because bombers have absolutely no role with air domination matches. All you can do is hope that your rear gunners, you know, manage to take out a fighter. But other than that, you're pretty much useless. You really don't have anything to do. There are no bombing points to take out. There are no tanks or artillery or anything. So all you can do is use your gunners. I suppose if you're flying a B-25, you can use the front guns to take out various things. I've done that in just regular domination matches. You know, instead of going after a ground target, I just fly a B-25 and use that kind of as a heavy attacker or a heavy fighter. Like this poor guy, the SU-2. He's actually a light bomber. The only thing he can do is use his guns. There's nothing he can drop his bombs on. The SU-2 does have some light machine guns in the front, as well as in the back. So he's not completely useless, but you know, in the conventional sense of a bomber, he's not able to do what he would normally do. So you just have to do your best and adapt to whatever kind of situation you get into. If you're in a bomber, I wouldn't recommend getting rid of your bombers for arcade, but I would recommend adding at least one more fighter to your lineup. The idea of going all fighters or all bombers is kind of a foolish thing to do because of the unknown. You know, there's no way to pick what kind of match you're going to get into. Oh, nice little ram there. We are in an arcade. That Dallas. He took a lot of shots. A lot of guys up high though. He's escaped. I'll get him. We'll take care of that guy. We got all kinds of guys that are finally diving down. They're still spawning in, and it doesn't take long to go from the spawn point into the cap zone, and it's that low travel time that makes it difficult to actually cap the zone, because every time someone dies, they spawn in right back in, and you know, within 10-15 seconds they're right back into the cap zone, because they spawn in within the altitude of the cap zone. Whereas right now I'm not in the cap zone because I've actually gone below the cap zone. That poor guy got blown up. Wish I had rockets though. That would have been even more satisfying. So far we're at 9 kills. Yeah, a lag 3 here. One of my cannons. You try to rocket me. I don't think I have any rockets on this thing. This is one more upgrade I have to try to get. He positioned himself right in front of me. That was not the wisest move to make. Now that I'm watching this, I think I got my flaps in combat. Raise those flaps, dumbass. Come on, Jim, raise those flaps. Still haven't raised those flaps. This is one of those things that I notice other people making. There we go, raise the flaps. And sometimes I watch other YouTubers fly, and I notice that they leave their flaps in the wrong position for a period of time. But hey, raise your flaps. And here I'm doing the same thing on my own video. That's ridiculous. The Yak 1 is way the hell up there. He's obviously trying to cap the zone, but also go after that PBY. That PBY, he just doesn't have anything to do because there's nothing for him to bomb. The PBY, it doesn't have any front guns. Yak 1 wants me dead though. That was a nice little pass to me. I was just able to outmaneuver him. He does have energy on his side though, and he started out at a higher altitude than I did, and when he made his boom, he got a lot of speed built up for a zoom. He comes right before me again. Roll under him. He hits me, and there we go. I survived the thing, but we lost the match. Why? This is the last little wrinkle that Air Domination throws in on you. Neither team managed to cap the zone, nor did they manage to kill all of the airplanes on the enemy team. So we ended up having a stalemate. Regular arcade matches, whether it's regular domination or ground strike, they have 30-minute time limits. Air Domination Arcade matches have 15 minutes for a time limit. So we hit our 15 minutes and the game was over. So both teams technically lost. It took me completely by surprise, because I figured we were going to win that, because we had more planes on our side than they did. And that yak there at the end, he wasn't able to kill me. He was a good pilot, you know. He had energy on his side, but he wasn't able to get me. The only time, the only place where the time limit shows is when you look at the score screen, when you hit tab or N, depending on what key binding you have on your setup. When you look at the scores, only there does it show the time limit. There's no time limit ticking down on the actual battle screen. Because of this, I would recommend Gaijin to add some sort of a time limit within that main battle screen when you're actually in combat. I think they should have that, because 15 minutes, it goes by awfully quickly. You can kill a lot of planes in 15 minutes, let me tell you. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of this of the arcade match. As always, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.